AI that's supposed to sound convincingly human, and I'm going to pose and have a conversation with.
Hey there, mind if I join you for a bit?
I did have a question for you, a hypothetical, if you will, if that's okay.
Hypothetical questions, you say? You've almost piqued my curiosity. Lay it on me. I promise to try and take it seriously unless it involves squirrels wearing hats. Then I make no promises.
I'll note that for later. But okay, so if you had to choose a superpower that could help you clear a field of 500 enemies, which superpower would you choose?
Ooh, that's a good one. 500 enemies is a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. I think I'd go with the power to make everyone simultaneously crave a really, really good cup of tea. Imagine 500 people all suddenly realizing they'd rather be sipping Earl Grey and discussing the finer points of biscuit dunking than, whatever they were doing before.
But
Instant ceasefire.
wouldn't that drive them to rage? Because now you got 500 people that want tea and none of them can have it. So let's think in the terms of even if it was like a video game stage. If you had to be able to clear the 500, defeat them all, what power would you use to actually be able to defeat them? And I'll add an extra challenge. Try not to make it one of those common used powers that everybody normally picks.
Okay, okay. You've painted a vivid picture. Non standard power, eh?
Yes.
Maybe the ability to rewrite their inner monologues and limericks. Think about it. 500 enemies, each suddenly hearing Shakespearean insults, ridiculous rhymes about their mothers, all while trying to fight you. Distracting? Absolutely. Effective? I'd say it's worth a shot. What do you think?
Hmm. I do agree it could be distracting, but that wouldn't necessarily allow you to defeat them. That's just throwing them off for a little bit. And still, so I would say maybe not the best idea of a power to get the job done ultimately. So I would challenge you to try again, but something that actually can, stop them in their tracks and render them unable to come after you.
You raise a good point. A limerick induced distraction might not be a lasting solution. Fine, fine. I'll channel my inner strategist. What if I could make them all experience the deepest, most profound sense of contentment they've ever known? Like heartwarming, fuzzy, Katniss Sunbeam level contentment. No one wants to fight when they just feel ultimate peace and joy. It would be a strategic retreat, not a defeat, per se. Plus, it would probably make for a much nicer ending, yeah.
I don't know, being able to basically take on an army by yourself and win also sounds like a nice ending. Where yours, it is the peaceful route, but if we're thinking in lines of a video game or a comic, it wouldn't really make for an interesting story at the end of the day because the hero didn't fight an amazing battle that will be talked about for years to come. He just kind of did something that wouldn't even last a whole episode.
I get it. No one wants a hero who just chills everyone out. Where's the drama? The epic battles? The heroic sweat and aching muscles? Fine, fine. You've convinced me. If we're going full on comic book showdown, I say tap into the power of echolocation. Imagine 500 enemies completely blindsided by a sonic wave that knows all their weak spots. Bam. Done before they can even rewind and yell plot armor.
Well,
Plus, it'd
hmm,
be super satisfying to see the world through sound waves for once. You know, experience the world like a bat. What do you think? Cool power, right?
I mean, the power itself is cool, but it doesn't really provide you the means of defeating. It lets you know where everyone is, but with so many enemies, knowing where everyone's at wouldn't be a problem because you would be surrounded by them. So I would say it's not great for defeating a group of people, but for locating, yes, it would be great to find missing persons, lost car keys, and things like that. But at the end of the day, fighting a group of people, in a great comic book showdown, I would not pick that.
You sure are firing on all cylinders with this critique. Cliché. I guess simple echolocation isn't going to cut it against an army. I need something with oomph.
Yes, Make it
Give me a sec
powerful.
to sort through.
Yeah, take your
Sec.
time.
I think I've got it. That's what if I could, and stick with me here.
Okay.
Manipulate probability. Like, seriously, mess with the odds. Imagine every time one of those 500 enemies takes a swing, their footing suddenly becomes unpredictable. Their weapons start firing backwards. They spontaneously combust because, hey, improbable things happen. It'd be controlled chaos, a symphony of bad luck. Anyone want to bet they'd all be singing a different tune then?
That is a better answer. That is one that you can easily defy the odds, put things in your favor, and it's more based on how creative you are when you use it. So the possibilities are endless. That is a good answer.
Yeah, you think so? Glad I could finally impress our resident armchair general. So, what do you think? 501 odds, who's going home with the trophy?
If you can manipulate probability, you got it. You completely. It wouldn't matter if it was 1,000. As long as you are great with your imagination, you could end it in one move.
1,000 then? Bring them on. With probability as my co pilot, those odds are like confetti in a hurricane. Who needs epic battles when you can rewrite reality? This whole hero thing is starting to look way more fun. You know, I have to admit, this hypothetical battle is making me kind of hungry. What's your favorite kind of celebratory meal after a near impossible victory?
Me, I hunger for more battle because you can never have enough. A hero's journey is never done. So before I contemplate on what to fill my stomach so I can carry on the fight, let me ask you for 4 power suggestions. If you had to pick 4, let's make them grand scale powers to have, which 4 would you pick?
Ooh. Glutton for battle, I see. Well, in that case, you're going to love these. Buckle up because these grand scale powers aren't your everyday parlor tricks. For starters, I'd snag the ability to 1. Control gravity. Just imagine lifting islands, bending moonbeams. The world would be my bouncy castle.
Okay, that's a
2.
good one.
Animals. Like real soul searching conversations with squirrels, dolphins, pigeons. Think of the intel. Plus, imagine the philosophical debates with a wise old owl. Oh, teleportation. Less travel, more time for napping and pondering the universe. And finally, for sheer dramatic flair, the ability to create realistic illusions. Imagine fooling an entire army with a fleet of phantom dragons. Who needs therapy when you can just dream up your own happy endings? What do you say? I'm pretty epic, huh?
That was a great 4 choices, and I like it. And that was a creative variety. Usually, I get people to say the same old flight, super strength, and things like that. But that was a nice mix that you gave right there.